I want to intro with me, my maniacal laugh.
You have to do that with your hands. And pet a hairless cat.
I feel like that was so spooky for July. Like,
No, midsummer spook. That's
we
nothing
can
wrong
do
with
that.
that.
That's not frowned upon.
I don't think so. You've seen the way people dress up here in Hollywood. It's Halloween every day.
That is
Whatever
true.
the fuck you want.
You're absolutely correct. You guys, welcome back to The Struggle with Candice Thompson. I am your host, Candice Thompson. To my loyal listeners, thank you so much for coming back. To my new listeners, thank you for joining. I hope I don't disappoint. The Struggle is a podcast where I have my funny friends come on and we talk about the challenges of adulting, because being an adult sucks most of the time. And if you don't agree with that, you haven't lived.
Or you still live with your mom and dad.
That too.
And you don't know what it's like to be an adult. So that doesn't
You've
count.
led a very privileged life, and
Yeah.
I don't see why you're listening to this.
The fact that your mom doesn't fold your clothes anymore doesn't mean you're struggling. You
No.
know? It just means
You're-
get another laundry basket.
Get it together.
Yeah.
Get it together. Where was I? Oh,
You were going to
Subscribe.
introduce? Yeah.
subscribe. If you have not subscribed to the show, put a pin in that. If you haven't subscribed to the show, make sure you do that. Go ahead and also do that on YouTube. Rate and review us on iTunes. And if you haven't told somebody about the podcast, The Struggle, and you are enjoying this regularly, please do so. Tell somebody about it. You can find me on social media at Jokes by Candice on all social medias, CandiceThompsonComedy.com for all my shows. And now I'm going to introduce my wonderful, hilarious guest for the day. No co-host today, just my guest. We skipping the middleman. We're going straight to the guest.
I like it.
We got the hilarious comedian Josh Wolf.
Wow. I've never, that's going to have, listen, from here on out when someone introduces me,
If they don't do that, it's going to be disappointing.
it's going to be real
the
disappointing.
bar, the introduction bar has been
Yeah.
set.
And the note, that's a high. Yeah, the people who open for me on the road are going to have to get their shit together. You're listening to me, Sandy Danto? You better start practicing that.
You know what? I can record myself doing it and send it to you. I can do a voice note
I
and
like
send it
it.
to you. So then we can like, this is how I want to be brought up on stage.
Yeah, I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, there's a guy who does the sound in San Antonio at the Laugh Out Loud Club
Uh-huh.
who has this deep radio voice, like real deep and real dry.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's like a savant.
Is he like the movie guy? Who do they still have that? In a world.
Yeah. Do you know I dated that guy's
Guy's
daughter?
daughter?
Do you want to hear a great story?
Was
Or
her
should
voice
we
exactly the same as his?
Do you want to finish this out?
Let's put
Okay,
a pin in
okay,
this.
yeah.
We'll finish. Yes.
Oh, I can't wait to
no,
tell
we
you
have
this.
so much to talk about.
I can't wait to tell you this story. This is a good story.
Two gals catching up.
Yeah, this story involves a moped.
You had me at Moped.
Yeah.
I'm already there.
I can't wait. That's a good one. That's a good one. I haven't thought about this story in a long time.
Yes.
Yeah, good one. Good one.
Yes. But wait, finish your story about the radio guy, radio voice guy at the Laugh Out Loud.
He's like a savant. So
With intros?
yeah, just with his voice and comedy.
Okay.
And when I do live shows, every live show is different. When
sure.
Sandy opens for me, I will always have him stay up on stage for 5 minutes, and I do punch-ups on his set. And I have him try the new
Hilarious.
jokes. It's so funny.
Okay, that was okay what you did, but
Yeah.
try it now with this. This
so-
actually might be funny.
And we improv and riff, and Sandy's
That's so good.
he's so good at it, because I want my crowds to know that this show is not like the people who are seeing the next show aren't seeing this show. You guys are special to this show.
For sure. That's great.
So when I'm in San Antonio with this guy, I always have him riff, and I'll write up different intros, because he sounds like a stripper DJ too. And I'll write up like a bunch of them, and I have him say them. It's so much
so
fun.
good.
Yeah,
That's so good.
Yeah.
My favorite intro when I get whenever a host is like, "What do you want me to say about you?" I always, well, not always, because I just, I do it whenever I think of it. I say, you may know me as Joe the policeman from the What's Going Down episode of That's My Mama.
Hilarious.
Which if you are coming to America fans, then you know that is Randy Watson.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to say. And there's always like four people in the audience
who
that get it.
That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Like, because I truly believe when you do stand up, you have to do things for you.
Absolutely.
Not the whole show.
No.
Because then the whole show would just be me watching Scooby-Doo High.
Exactly.
Right. You know what I mean? That's for
That's
me.
for me.
Yeah, that part's for me. But like I think, and we go back to what we were talking about before the mics were on. Podcasts have made that not only acceptable, but people like it. It's human. They know, they're getting to know you a little bit.
Yep.
And
not a
that's,
presentation.
yeah,
Yep.
that's as important. You know, one of the things that I tell when local features come and open for me, and I see someone get on stage and MCs too, and just start telling jokes, I'm like, don't. You have to talk to them.
Got to give them a little bit of you first. Warm them up.
You
Let them know who you are.
Where I learned that is the store.
Yeah, the store is a great place for that
You
because those late night spots.
have
you
to
can't-
start talking.
You can't just go into your jokes at 1 o'clock in the morning.
You almost have to trick. Sometimes, if you do want to practice a joke, you have to trick the audience through crowd work
First.
into your joke.
Yep.
Right? So you have to ask somebody a question that will lead you to the
Yep.
joke you want to tell. So it seems more conversational.
Yep.
And you're tricking them into dropping one of your jokes into a casual conversation.
Yep.
That's more palatable at 1 a.m. when there's 17 people in there and they've heard 4 hours of stand-up.
Yep. And
yeah.
it's very interesting when I see skilled comedians who've been doing this for so many years go up at those late night spots and go straight into like a late night bit. And I'm like, don't you know now? But you should know by now. Like it's just
Yeah.
have fun with them first. They're drunk. Half of them aren't
Tired.
even from here, barely speaking English. They're
Waiting for their check.
Yes, they don't want to hear like structure.
You know what's funny is like when the crowd is packed, you can't always see who came by themselves. But late night, out of
Oh,
those
you
17
know.
people, 8 of them were by themselves.
And have fun with them.
Yeah,
Because
8 of them. So
you have to acknowledge
you
it.
all should go sit together.
Yeah,
Like, this is
what are we
sad right now.
doing?
Yeah,
Why-
why are you all by?
I thought I was the saddest person
Yeah.
in this room tonight. Turns out, no. The person who's here watching comedy by themselves, at 2
themselves.
o'clock in the morning might be sadder than the comic.
Yeah, it's not that you're having your. There's a difference between wanting to see the whole show and having nowhere to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm here because I'm getting paid very little, but I'm
Yeah.
still getting paid and I desperately need attention. But why are you here?
Yeah, still staring at me. You know what I mean?
I need to know your story, sir.
You haven't
Yeah.
laughed for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Could you please leave? Like this is. Do us all a favor here at the Comedy Store. Oh, last night, Candice, I was at the Improv.
At late night, they're doing late. Wait, hold on. We didn't plug your Instagram. What is your social media? Where can people find you? Chaos with Josh. Plug all that.
I'm
so
at
people know where to
Josh
find you.
Wolf Comedy on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I do a show every Tuesday night that you've been on a couple of times.
Twice.
Couple of times.
It
called,
still makes me nervous.
Is it the singing part that makes you nervous?
It's everything because like how you say it's like it's chaos and like
It's
you
live
don't know what's gonna
chaos.
happen but it's an improv show where it's like you don't know what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna throw stuff out and we're all just gonna talk about it. But I think every comedian, because we're such writers,
Yes.
that working that it's a different muscle, it's a different skill, and so I love when you
Yeah.
ask me to do it because I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, ugh, but a part of me is like, you're gonna have fun, just do it, and you're gonna be working another muscle that's gonna help you in all aspects of your career and what you do.
It's one of the reasons I also it's a show with me, 3 usually comedians on a couch, and I have a co-host. Jacob used to be my co-host, but he's
And
working
now
on the Spade show now.
I mean, what? You mean Lights Out with David Spade that premieres on July 29th on Comedy Central at 11:30?
Yeah,
That
he's,
show?
He's doing that show now. But that's so I love live because it's when I can see you at your most human.
Yep.
And it's one of the reasons, though, I understand that the improv part of it can be a little scary because as opposed to Spade show or say when Chelsea was on, you get topics hours before the show so you can write some jokes.
At least be like, oh, this is what we're going to talk about. So I
Yeah.
can come up with a perspective on this. Yes.
So what I try to do, I don't give you guys, I ask you when you're on the
we
couch.
going cold.
But I try to ask questions that don't lead you to jokes, but lead you to opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So automatically you'll have something to say. It's just up to, and that's why I always give you my opinion first.
For sure.
Right? But my favorite thing is that's why I always like to have people on the couch who know each other.
Yes,
Because even
that's
if,
the best.
right, you guys are also
Chemistry.
comfortable. And a lot of the times, honestly, my favorite of those shows are the shows where I am not funny. I'm just laughing. Because when you guys are funny, I don't have
He's
to
like, I don't have to do anything.
I don't have to do anything, but the
Yeah, yeah.
show's better. The show is not about me being funny. The
Yeah.
show is about me asking you questions. By the way, 20 years ago, I would have needed to be the funny one. And now I don't.
You're just chill.
I want the best show.
I 100%. I mean, every comic is. We want attention all the time, all the time. But then you realize, like, after a certain point, especially when you have a show like that, it's like, you're not the one necessarily that's carrying the show at this point.
Shouldn't be you.
It shouldn't be you. Not at all. So I think there is definitely an element of just, you get to finally sit back and like watch this machine run that you created. And it's like, that's a good feeling, man. And you know that everyone that you have on there are friends of yours. So it's like, you have faith that everything will be fine.
I'm always sure. And even though it's chaotic, believe it or not, I have it clocked in my head.
Yeah.
I have it when this happens and when this happens and this happens. And plus, you get free shoes.
You guys? Oh, I told you that someone scuffed my shoes.
Oh, I was there at the comedy
Toronto.
store. So everybody gets a free pair of Pumas when they come on the show. And
unscuffed.
There's some sweet ass Pumas too,
They're,
right? I mean, the pair you had that got scuffed, I might have punched somebody.
I told you, I would have. I would have had I not been high.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, why did I take this edible? Because I really want to punch this dude in the face right now.
We're going to find you some other shoes. You're going to come back on the show, right?
Of course I'm going to come back on the show. I love doing the show.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. And so there's that. And the other thing I do also on my Facebook fan page. And so the Control Chaos is 7 o'clock Pacific time. And also 7 o'clock Pacific time on Monday nights, I do a show called The High Live, which is literally me sitting in front of a camera for an hour in my backyard smoking weed. It's a science experiment because you watch someone go from totally sober.
It's for science.
To not being able to talk.
That high.
Oh, that's why it's called The High Live. So you get to watch the meltdown. It's so funny that certain things happen at about the same time every night. But so it is my favorite thing to do. It has helped my stand-up so much, Candice.
Really?
I didn't think it would. I'll tell you why.
Please.
You ready for this? Here's the unexpected.
Any reason why doing more weed will improve my stand-up? Please, I'm ready for it.
So it's an hour straight of just me talking. So it's not all going to be funny.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Taking that pressure off of myself.
That's great.
To find jokes on stage. To try new things.
That's great.
Because even when I say something funny on the High Live, I don't hear laughs.
You get no response.
So just it has made me more comfortable with just me talking and trying things.
That's great.
And it's been really amazing. Plus, I get to get high and I get free weed.
What more could you ask for?
Not a whole lot.
And have you ever had guests on that, or it's always just been you?
Yeah, I have guests on every now and then. Whoever, but here's the thing: some people get scared because they're like, "How high do I have to get?" I'm like, "We're smoking the whole show.
You're spending the night.
We're smoking the." So Jessa May's done it with me.
Oh yeah, she stays
high.
Yeah, yeah.
My brother Jonathan's done it with me. That dude.
Yeah.
Have you met my brother?
No, I don't think so.
My brother, he is a professional.
Older, younger?
Older. I'm the youngest of 4 boys.
Okay, and is he in the industry at all, or
no? Kinda. Sometimes.
Sometimes when he does your show.
Yeah, but he also just started working for a production company. He shot a couple short films. Like, he's a hustler. My brother's a hustler. So it's kinda. Yeah, but those are all the things that I need. Oh, and I do a podcast with Freddie Prinze Jr. called Prince and the Wolf.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Weren't you guys over at Toad Hop with us?
It was me and Ross Matthews.
That's who it was. I couldn't remember. Remember
Yeah,
you were there.
yeah.
But I couldn't remember who.
Yeah, it was Ross and I. We did a show called He Said, He Said.
And
What was that?
I had.
You sounded like a young Japanese boy. You. What was that noise?
I had a. I remember who.
What was that?
If I didn't love you, I'd hate you. I remembered who I remember when we were at Toad Hop doing our podcast. I used to have an old podcast I used to do one with Freddie Lockhart.
Where is Freddie?
Let's start a podcast called Where is Freddie? Because
But seriously, where is he?
I don't know, but I have seen him a little active on social media recently, like liking some of my posts. But aside from that,
Has he stopped doing stand-up?
I don't know.
It's so
I think we should start a
crazy.
podcast.
Where's Freddie?
We'll get down to it.
Yeah, we'll get down to it. We got to find Waldo before we find Freddie.
And have they found Richard Simmons yet? You know there was a podcast looking for him.
Yeah, but he wandered back to his house.
So that he's fine?
Has he ever been fine? Like,
Well,
what's kind of, I mean, he's back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you ever, he was on one episode when we were still doing Chelsea. He was on an episode of Chelsea, right? And he sat
Oh my
down for
God.
the interview and was so overtly trying to be a sexual male that it was so uncomfortable.
But he's
I'll tell you, by the way, there have been 2 people on that couch talking to her that tried to be so overtly male.
and they're both gay.
Well, neither one of them have ever admitted it.
Oh, Richard Simmons is not out?
No.
That's like when it's like,
Do you want to know who the other one was?
yes, please.
Tyler Perry.
Oh my
I'm going to tell you something right now. He was so, anybody who goes that's
what
far over the line
Yo.
to prove to you
Yo.
how much of a man I am.
I have been saying this.
You don't need that.
You're overcompensating. And I have been saying
Dial
this
it
for
back.
years, but when I say it, nobody listens to me because I'm a woman, but also because everyone thinks I think everybody is gay, which is not true. I think 80% of men in Hollywood are gay. Not all of them.
But let me ask you another question
Yes.
about the 80%.
Yes.
I bet you out of those 80%, some of them have been like, I'm not gay. I have touched a dick that's not mine.
And yes.
Yeah.
And yes, and apparently that's like a thing where there are dudes that are like, I'm not gay, but I suck dick. And I'm like, then what is gay?
It's pretty, yeah, I mean, if you check the boxes, that's near the top, right?
It.
That's right up near the top. Now, I will tell you, I ran a bar club in Seattle, and there was a dude who worked for me, and his name was Sean. And he would tell you right now, I've never touched a dick in my life. I have a girlfriend. I don't like hanging out with dudes, but I like to kiss dudes when I'm drunk. And I'm like, what?
What is that?
But he said, as drunk as I've ever been, and as many dudes as I've made out with, I've never had the urge to see or touch another dick. He said, I'm telling you straight up, I'm admitting to you that I enjoy making out with guys.
What is it though?
But I asked him, I go, so...
If you don't want a dick.
But he said, my mouth is gay, but my hand isn't. I'm like, I can't. No, I'll tell you something else. Ready for this, Candice? There's a dude out there who's got 2 dicks.
What?
Have you seen the double dick dude? Oh, the double dick. And he's got 2 like 7-inch dicks. Maybe one's bigger than 7 inch. 2.
Is he single?
Well, you ready for this? He says one of his
One is gay and the other one's
Yeah, that's what he says. I'm not buying that. Your dick doesn't decide.
No, there's no
The
one
dick-
of your dicks doesn't have like
no.
more testosterone in it, and the
Yeah.
other
One
maybe
of your
it does.
one of your dicks is not into musical theater, and the other one isn't. You know what
and
I mean?
the other one's into
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah.
Like, what are we talking about?
Oh, the double dick dude. Are you Googling the double dick dude? He's got
Who isn't right now?
he's
Who isn't doing this
full-on
right now?
Double dick dude, but big, both. There's a bunch of double dick guys, but none that dicked out.
What?
And I tried to interview him for a podcast, but he was like, I feel like you're just going to make fun of me. I'm like, make fun of you.
I'm not gonna make. I just have questions.
I have so many questions.
I'm not gonna make fun of you.
Yeah.
I genuinely just want to know what your life
the
is
deal?
like.
Yes. Is it good or bad? Is it a burden?
I feel like
I
it
think
wouldn't-
burden.
And I feel like now, because everything goes, I feel like there's somebody out there who's just loving on both those dicks.
I'm on board for that, but I just mean logistically.
Yeah.
Pants,
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying.
pants, underwear,
Right.
sweatpants. Imagine, so you can see
You
dicks
could
in
tuck
sweatpants.
one and leave one loose.
If you have a 7-inch dick that you tuck in, that's going to look like you shit your pants.
Speaking from
coming
experience.
It's coming out the back. You know what I'm saying? There's no, so
You're
like
right.
sweatpants. That's the first thing I thought of is double dick dude can't wear sweatpants. Do you know what I mean? And he definitely can't wear sweatpants with no underwear because people are going to be like, that's confusing. How is that? That looks like a double dick. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Of course. And how do you broach the subject of when you're on, if you're about to get busy with somebody, when is the good time for you to disclose?
For you as a woman, when do you want to know? And is
immediately?
Is it good or bad? Hard to say, right?
It's hard to say. I think I'm gonna go with I would like to know up front, but I would also like to say that I don't think I would judge him for that. If he told me on the first date I have 2 dicks and he was cool,
Yeah.
I would go out with him again.
So have you Googled double dick dude? And oh, I've seen it. Show Candice.
I'm
Yeah. She's
fuck
waiting.
him. I mean,
Double dick.
you hear the silence? They're huge.
I told you.
And is that flaccid?
Those are flaccid double dick dudes.
Can you go in front of the camera with that, please?
I mean, now listen. Double dick dude.
I've never been speechless before.
Yeah, it's a double dick dude. I don't think that's his real name.
That's not his birth name. That's
No,
not.
yeah. You know, his dad was. He was probably born, and his dad was like, "Fuck yeah, my son's got 2 dicks. I know your son can play baseball. My son's got 2 dicks. Beat that." Like as a dad, you're not topping 2 dicks.
No.
As a dad, well, you know, I'm sure they're sitting around a table and
Oh
dads
my
are bragging
God.
about my son's
My
going to
son's got-
Harvard. Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My son's an astronaut. Is that right?
You don't say. Well, guess what?
My son's got 2 dicks. What? Huh? Yeah. Son's got 2 dicks. 2 dicks. My son's got 2 dicks. Yeah. That it opens up so many questions.
So if you had a son that had 2 dicks, you would be proud?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I feel like the sky's the limit when you have 2 dicks.
I really feel like, especially if you had 2 small dicks, I think that's an
What
embarrassment.
if you had 2 micro penises?
Yeah, but now micro penis. I've
What a
heard
j-
that term now 3 times in
you've
the last
never
2
seen-
weeks. I've never seen one. What does that mean?
Get the fuck. I love how we're educating one another
Yeah,
about.
on 2 different ways. Is it weird that I know about the double dick dude and you know about the
The
micro? Wait,
I don't know what this says about either one of us, but
micro penis.
micro-
Now,
it's-
I'm assuming I know what that looks like because of the 2 words together.
yes.
But how small when you say micro?
You remember micro machines?
No.
You don't remember the little
No, wait.
cars
You
with the
mean
guy
like
that
smaller than a
spoke really
pinky?
fast?
Smaller than a pinky? Smaller
It's
than
about the size of a pinky. I mean, and we're talking about like even when it's hard.
Have you seen one in person?
No, I've only dated black guys.
Wait,
No, no, but you know
Are
who
you
is
saying
black
there's
who
no-
allegedly has a micro penis?
who? Shaq. Tell me
No,
it's Shaq.
no, I have heard that Shaq has an average size for his, like it's not really proportionate to his body. I
Thank
hear,
God.
Like, that's every woman, right? For the love of God,
You
thank
don't-
God.
You don't want to proportion
not-
it to Shaq's
No,
body.
I'm not complaining about an average sized dick
No,
on a
you
man
do,
that
you
looks
do
like
not
Shaq.
want to have sex with a dude who's fucking you with a 4-year-old boy.
No, I have so
You know?
much more life to live.
I like where my heart is.
I would like to have kids one day.
Yeah, I like the
No,
fact
I
that my
wouldn't,
ribs
but-
are all in the same place. Yeah.
So like a mic, like oh no, I was gonna say the guy who and this is not a secret because he showed it on camera in a movie.
Doctor,
Terrence Howard
I think I'm going to say
alleg-
Dr. Ken.
and Dr. Ken. No, just because he's
Dr.
Asian,
No, you didn't see it
he
in The
did have a
Hangover?
small. He did, but there's a scene in what's the movie where he's the pimp?
Boogie and Flow?
Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow? Boogie and Flow.
Boogie Nights.
By the way, Boogie and Flow sounds like a great 70s sitcom. It's Boogie
And Flo from
FLO, yeah, from One Day at
the diner.
Alice.
Alice.
Boogie and Flow. Hustle and Flow. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Hustle and Flow.
Yeah.
There is a scene, and you can look this up, Google it. There's a scene where he's naked and like coming out of the shower, and you can see a little nugget.
Really?
It's just a little nugget. And I'm like, oh, we talked about this in the writer's room, just FYI.
Well, let me ask
We
you
were
something.
talking about micro penises,
Let's go
and
back
Terrence
to-
Howard's name came
Oh,
up.
it's so bad for him that that's his first name that comes up. Let me ask you a question. Let me go
Yes,
back to this.
Yes.
Have you only ever dated black guys?
Actually I tried. I dated a white guy one time, and it's not because that's just what's happened. It's not
Yeah.
that I'm like, oh, I only date. That's just what's happened. What's worked out.
Yeah.
But no, I dated a white guy when I was in 8th grade.
Does that count?
No.
Yeah, because that was like, I'm not doing this again.
You have ruined it.
Yeah, you have ruined it for every other white guy.
For the rest. And so
Where'd you grow up?
Cincinnati. New York, Queens, the first 10 years of my life, and then Cincinnati, Ohio was like dating when I was dating.
And
age.
are you telling me that no white guy has ever approached you?
Not as much as black guys, no. I'm trying to think of honest. I'm not even kidding. And I'm saying like I would be open to it. And there was a white guy that I did have a crush on. I used to work at an Enterprise rental car.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird. You had to have a college degree to work there.
For what?
No, I know. But they try to make it professional. So, like, everyone has to have a college degree to work there because everyone that comes in starts out as a management trainee.
Uh-huh.
And the goal is to one day have your own branch at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Whose goal?
Exactly. Not mine. I stayed there for like 6 months. I was like, I can't do this.
I'm out.
Yeah, no, this is not for me. And so there was a guy who worked there who I believe his title was car prep. So like he didn't work there. He didn't have a college degree. He just was there to like clean the cars and like filled up the gas and just do errands for the car so that they're ready for when people came, they would be ready for the guests to take.
And he had a college degree too?
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
He did not.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. And I had a crush on him. And we went to the movies once and I think we kissed and I think I scared him away.
What did he look like?
What's
your if you're gonna date a white guy, what does he look like?
I don't have a type. I don't have a type in anything. I've dated guys that look like everything except fat. I've never dated fat because I'm so healthy that we just wouldn't get along.
Yeah.
Not get along. We just
with it.
we're too different.
Yeah.
And so the only thing that I need is like, don't be intimidated by me being funny. Like that's the only thing I need.
That's a big thing for dudes though.
I know, which is why I'm still single today.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's not just funny. It's like, so you have your personality, like you shine, right? So it takes.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to say it, but.
I like how every now and then you look at the camera, like Jim from The Office. Hey. So, but you shine, right? So it's not even just funny. For a lot of dudes, it's hard for them not to shine.
I know.
Right?
Because we've taught dudes that y'all are supposed to be the ones shining. Women, we're going to smother you guys. Fellas, we're going to give you everything to shine.
Well, let me just go back one step further, though, okay? In defense of men, we were raised to be animals. Let me just give you an example.
What do you mean by that?
I'll give you just an example.
Please.
When you were in high school, in the locker room, okay?
Yes.
What was the shower situation? Did you guys at least have partitions where you could get in and take a shower? Maybe not you had your own stall with a door, but did you have at least partitions?
Why am I having a hard... Yeah, I'm sure we did. Okay. I'm having a hard time remembering.
And did you in a woman's locker room in the gym?
No, I'm having a hard time remembering, which is so crazy because it was only 8 years ago.
In a woman's locker room in the gym, there's partitions?
There's partitions? Probably there was.
Okay.
But I don't remember.
Until very recently.
They didn't have those.
In the men's locker room, in a gym, and still some gyms, and definitely in high schools, it was a prison situation. You, as a boy, were
guys getting raped?
No, but it's
Josh, what school is this?
There was only like 4 or 5 dudes who were willing to take a shower. Do you know what I mean? Like, and when a little boy falls down,
get up,
be
a man,
brush
fix
it
yourself,
off, right. So,
there's problems with how both of us are raised, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It's interesting, like you raise them to be animals, and then you're surprised when they're animals.
When they behave like them.
Animals. You're surprised when they're you laugh at your son's behavior when your son finds his asshole for the first time and is just touching it. It's funny.
Of course,
it's funny, and you're like, hey, do that. You know, it's fun when your son farts.
I'm supposed to be
laugh.
the adult in this situation. Yeah.
But like we're trained for it.
Absolutely.
And the daughter is I did the same thing. My daughter, I think about the nickname. I gave my daughter, she was my princess.
Yeah.
And my oldest son was T-Bone. Do you know what I mean?
T-Bone and Princess followed right after Boogie and Flow on Saturday nights.
I got one better for you than that. You ready for this? Did you know I'm a grandfather? Did you know that?
Yes, we've talked about this, which I still was like, what?
So I got 4 grandkids, right? So my oldest son, when he asked, he goes,
finest grandfather in the game. I will say that.
He said, you get to pick out your grandfather name. And I said, cool. And he said, call me tomorrow. And I said, cool. I'll tell you something right now. And I told him straight up, nobody's calling me. If some kid calls me grandpa, I'm ignoring that motherfucker. Like, I'm not going by grandpa.
What are you going by?
Pops.
Pop?
None of that shit.
No, none of that.
So he goes, you get to pick him out. So my wife went with BB.
BB?
BB, her name is Bethany. She didn't want to be called Grandma either.
Yeah, I could understand. You guys are still hot.
Yeah, so right, Grandma's
I
not
can
having
understand
it,
that.
right?
Yeah.
BB was my great-grandmother's name, so
Okay.
BB.
So yeah.
So I go, Beth wants to be BB. And he goes, cool, what do you want to be called? I go, LeBron. And he goes, what? I said, how cool is it, BB and LeBron's?
That
Yo,
does have a good ring.
don't you want to go to BB and LeBron's
That has
house?
a great ring to it.
Is that a 70s sitcom, BB and LeBron? And not only that, how funny is it in a park in L.A. for someone, little kid to start screaming LeBron? Everybody's going to be like, get the
and then
fuck.
he's a white guy.
Yeah, me. Old, middle-aged Jewish dude walking up. What's up, everybody? He didn't let me pick LeBron.
So what does he call you?
He said to me, he goes, first of all, does everything have to be a joke with you? And I'm like,
yes.
yeah, are you new?
Have we met?
Yeah. Do you know? Do you remember when you were 14 and I showed you how to light your fart? Yeah.
Wait, does that really work?
Oh, yeah. Lights out? Yeah.
It really works?
Are you serious?
Yeah, no, I'd always heard that it probably does, but I'd never seen footage of it, and
You could see footage.
I obviously have
YouTube.
never tried.
She's finding it right now. It's on her favorite homepage.
I thought you were pointing like she's about to try it right now.
that
And
would
I'm
be
like, not here. It's already too
amazing."
hot. I'm like, we don't have AC in here. That was my biggest concern. I'm already sweating. I farted earlier today.
In here?
Not in here, at home. And, I told you my place doesn't have AC. And it's
Yeah.
getting that time of year where it's just becoming unbearable. And, when you fart and it's muggy, it just stays.
Yeah.
It just lingers. And I was like, that was a
Yeah.
bad idea. But I'm vegan, so what do you want from me?
Okay, so I was vegan for a little while also.
When was this?
Okay, so I smoke a lot of weed.
I would also like to point out we have gotten to none of the struggles.
Oh, okay.
We don't have to.
Okay.
This is fine. I love how this is going, but I just would like to point that out.
We can if you whatever you want.
We're going to continue with you being vegan.
Because you know that I
I know.
I have trouble not talking.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
I was vegan for 90 days. but
90 days.
Strict greens, beans, nuts, and seeds. That was it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
mostly what I eat. Mostly fruit, though. I have mostly fruit.
No fruit. Greens,
Why
beans,
no
nuts.
fruit?
I read this book. I wanted to try this diet. I smoke a lot of weed, and I for a long time was using the mirror as my doctor. I worked out. I ate healthy.
Mirror Doctor on
Yeah.
the E Network.
I ate healthy during the day, but after 8 p.m.
Yeah, that's actually when they say actually like 6 p.m. is when you're supposed to shut
Yeah.
it down and let your digestive system rest.
Well, I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, but I went to the doctor, and he was like, "Hey, do you have diabetes in your family?" And I said, "No, I don't think so." And he goes, "I would check." He said, your blood sugar came back, and it's like syrup." He said, "What are you doing?" I go, "I eat healthy." He goes, "All day?" And I go, "No, at night I get high, and I'll eat 2 or 3 bags of Skittles." And he was like,
2 or 3 bags of Skittles? What the fuck are you doing?
2 or 3 bags of Skittles.
Did you go to the dentist too? Because I
That-
feel like
yeah.
that was also necessary.
Trip number 2. But he was like, he said, it's easily to change.
Yeah, just stop eating
Stop
Skittles.
eating. But he goes, let's see what you can. And I'm an extreme dude. So I was like, all right, I'm
gonna do this.
but let's try vegan.
Yeah,
The smells that escape your
your body.
and sometimes you don't even know they're coming out.
The last 2 podcasts ago, my struggle was that I sharted on myself.
In this room?
Yes. No, not here. In that chair.
Oh my God.
It was at home. It was before I was coming to do this. And I already showered. I was checking some emails. And I was like, oh, this is...
Yeah. It
It
happens.
was not.
No, the vegan, your digestive tract works better than you could ever imagine.
Yes.
And I tell people,
It surprises you.
Yeah, your deuces, they come out like they're on a water slide.
Yeah.
You know, like it,
Depending on the day. Yeah.
like raging waters.
Oh, yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know. And that's what and it's because your body is, your intestines, for most people, your gut bacteria is not okay. Like
Yeah.
it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So it will try to fix itself. And it usually takes up to like at least a year for your gut to get back in alignment with the good gut bacteria that's
Yeah.
supposed to be in there once you switch over to a vegan diet.
Well, your health starts in your stomach.
Absolutely.
A lot of people don't understand that. Your health starts in your stomach.
Absolutely. Most things that are wrong with people, it's because something's wrong in their gut.
I'll tell you the one thing that fucks up my body more than anything, health-wise,
Mm-hmm.
And not immediately, but I just know this to be true, and it's the one thing I just have trouble cutting out.
Cheese.
Coffee.
Oh. Yeah, coffee's a...
Because coffee, especially in the morning, people who drink it, if you drink coffee and have to go to the bathroom right away,
Yeah.
that means you probably have something like leaky gut or something. Nothing should be that immediate.
That quick.
But that means you have little holes in the lining of your stomach, and the coffee's
It's
getting
going right through it.
into the bloodstream.
Yep.
And so the bad stuff in your stomach is getting into your bloodstream. And it leads to inflammation. It leads to a lot of things.
A lot of things is going to affect.
Your skin.
Absolutely.
So, but that's the one thing I have a hard time.
Can I tell you a good alternative?
Yeah.
There are mushrooms, a mushroom powder that you can put in like different, like a smoothie or a different type of hot beverage.
I've seen those.
Chaga.
Yeah.
Lion's mane.
Does it work for you?
I like it. And I also, yerba mate is a tea.
Yeah.
That is, it has caffeine in it, but it's a more natural source and it doesn't have those, it's not as aggressive on your gut, and it's not, you don't have those drops when in energy when, you know, like if you have a cup of coffee and then like 4 hours or 3 hours later, you're like,
yeah,
you don't have that with it.
And how do you feel about crack? You feel the same?
If it's organic.
Organic crack.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't like
it's
that.
locally sourced and I can get it at the farmer's market.
I like organic crack.
I'm all for it.
Me too.
I talk about health so much on this podcast, but you should, you know what you should get to, we talked about, cause I emailed you a supplement to take.
Yeah.
Most people think I'm crazy.
No, I live that life also.
Oh, good.
I really do, because I travel so much that I'm like, it's so easy just to go down the chicken finger road. Do you know what I mean?
I'm picturing a road that's
made
when
of
you
chicken
said that.
fingers. It is for most of
Follow
us.
the chicken finger road. Follow the chicken finger road.
See, it's the battle between being high and hungry. And,
Yeah.
But do you mind if I? Well, I don't want to ask you how old you are.
Oh yeah, I play anywhere from 28 to 35.
Yeah, you do. But like, I feel like if you want to stay at least feeling young,
yes,
you
have to. I took a picture of the things that I put in my smoothie and I put it up on Instagram and I was like, kids, this is your future. Just know that.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get to a point where your body is going to tell you what's wrong with you.
Yeah.
I kept getting sick last year. I kept getting sick. And I was like, this is not what I'm supposed to, this is not what's supposed to happen. So there's something's wrong.
Yeah.
And I fixed it. And I fixed it just switching to a raw vegan.
Raw vegan, honestly, if you can do it and you have it's like, you have to put some things in the back. Like you're like, I'm not gonna thoroughly enjoy every meal.
That's not true. How dare you?
Listen, if you never have bacon, you're not gonna thoroughly enjoy.
Can I tell you, I haven't
meal.
had bacon since I was 13.
I think that explains a lot.
Well, I gave it up. Pork never did anything for me. I wasn't that one of those.
What's the hardest thing to give up?
For me, chicken was harder for me
yeah.
because black, yes, but I'm kidding. Everybody loves chicken, all right? Let's just put that out there.
Yeah.
And watermelon also.
I'm not sure how that ended up being a black thing.
Especially since Asian people been frying chicken since way before black people.
Without a doubt. And chicken is a...
It's delicious.
Yes! And I grew up poor. All we ate was chicken.
KFC.
Were
you KFC or Pop? Where did you grow up?
I gotta tell you, I've never in my life had Popeyes or Church's.
There's a Popeyes right on Cahuenga and Hollywood.
I don't eat that.
Don't
shit.
ask me why. I know that.
Yeah.
I know all of the fried chicken joints. Now black people might not love chicken more than anybody else, but we know where all the locations are within a 10-mile radius.
No, I like and I love fried chicken and I like KFC. I don't eat it anymore, but I never had a Popeyes or a Church's.
From what I remember, and I cannot speak to what is happening right now in the fried chicken circuit.
How long you been vegan?
Just since December, I switched to vegan because I was doing pescatarian before that.
Yeah. You feel better without the fish?
I feel so much better. I cannot stress, and I know I've talked about it so many times on this podcast, but I cannot tell you, my body was full of mucus. My body had so much mucus in it.
What do you eat for breakfast?
Now, just fruit. Smoothies. I'll make I'll make my homemade hemp milk, which is just hemp seeds that I put in my blender with spring water. I throw a little natural vanilla extract, a little sea salt, and some coconut nectar, which is an all-natural sweetener. Blend that up, and it makes a delicious vanilla non-dairy milk. Then I take frozen fruit. I'll throw blueberries, mangoes, banana, of course. Banana is a staple in every smoothie, so you got to throw that in there. And then I'll put my superfood powders, like my acai, my moringa powder.
How are we pronouncing that one? ACA.
Acai.
Okay.
That is the correct pronunciation.
Hey, listen, I'm not arguing with you, but it's just like
it sounds like
it's like spelling Hanukkah.
Yeah.
You could spell it 90 different
like,
ways. You know what I mean?
And you like the way that it's properly pronounced is like the most douchey way to
Yeah,
say it.
yeah.
Like when someone says acai, you want to punch them in the face.
Yeah.
Like I know that's the right way to say it, but just say
Also,
acai.
It sounds like acai sounds like a bad guy in a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Oh, here come acai.
Yeah, and then now make the 7-year-old Asian boy noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was more like 70-year-old.
That was like an Asian
Yeah,
Scooby Doo.
I forgot what I.
Yeah.
Is that what I did? There it is.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even finish why I did that noise. I didn't even finish that story of why I did that noise.
I'm
I
so sorry.
did that because I remembered who I saw you with at Toad Hop Studios.
Who was it?
Scott Wolf.
Oh, my cousin.
Yo cousin.
He's a handsome man.
He is handsome.
He hasn't.
I had a little crush on Bailey back in the day.
How could you not?
Yeah.
Everybody did.
Yeah,
Party
those
Five
dimples?
Bailey, come on.
Those dimples?
But you either liked Bailey,
Or
Scott
Charlie.
or Matt Fox.
Yeah.
It depended on where you lean.
I kind of liked both of them.
Yeah.
I would probably say that I leaned a little bit more towards Bailey, but Matthew Fox could have gotten it too.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, especially with that Hodgkins.
Come on, right?
Because you were like, oh, I feel so bad. I just want to
Yeah.
fix him. I just want to take that non-Hodgkin's lymphoma.
Was he hotter on Party of Five or Lost?
I didn't watch Lost.
What?
I know.
You haven't gone back and watched Lost?
No, I did. I had gone back and watched Sopranos because I didn't watch that when it was happening.
It's so good. You know what I love the most about that show? And I know I'm
Lost or Sopranos?
Sopranos. You know what I love the most about Sopranos? And what it taught me as a viewer and somebody who writes? Okay, so when you see shows like How to Get Away with Murder or any of these shows, right? Where
Which I still haven't learned how to get away with it
me
yet,
neither.
so I'm
You're
very disappointed.
Yeah, it's misleading. But like any of these shows now, where the first season is amazing,
Yeah.
right? The reason the first season is amazing is because they've crammed 70 storylines,
Yeah.
what used to be over 5 seasons, into one season because people have such short attention spans.
Yeah, they're like,
right?
we got to get it in.
We got to get it in. There's some things that happen in the pilot where you're like, well, it's a great pilot, but where the fuck do you... And it's why maybe season 2 is still good, but it's why the further seasons just get more and more ridiculous.
Like, what do we talk about? Because we've done everything.
You came out of the gate at 10.
I jumped ship on How to Get Away with Murder when one of the main characters got killed. You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it for anybody who's watching, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I was like, mm-mm.
But so Sopranos, the best thing about Sopranos was this. They didn't kill somebody in every episode.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, sometimes you went 2 or 3 episodes where you would even say to your friend,
When is somebody going to die?
nothing happened on this. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, yeah.
And then out of nowhere, death.
Yeah.
And it
That's
made
great.
it so much more impactful.
Breaking Bad was like that too.
Yes.
I loved it.
It makes it so much more impactful when it happens.
Yeah, because you're not getting overly saturated with...
in real life.
Yeah.
They're not killing people every day.
No.
Some days, in the mob,
Sometimes-
nothing happens.
Yeah, you got to take a week to plot the murder before you
nothing
execute
happens.
it.
Yeah, it was to me, Terrence Winter is such a genius.
Wait, who's that?
He's the
Sopranos guy?
He's the writer, the lead guy.
What's his name?
Terrence Winters.
He's the lead guy?
He's the lead writer. head
Oh,
writer.
writer. I was like, that was James Gandolfini.
Yeah, definitely.
Josh.
Yeah.
Idiot.
I also, not to be confused with my buddy Terrence Winter, who I used to write on a show called All of Us. And
All of us?
yeah, with it was Will and Jada's show.
The Black Show, yeah.
For a little
You
while.
wrote on that show?
Yeah, I wrote on All of Us and Cuts.
I didn't know. What?
Yeah. Yeah, I wrote.
Back to the beginning. It's oh,
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why you got that high pitched intro. Because
I wrote on both those shows.
I did not know
No,
that.
I loved writing. All of us was a lot of fun to write on.
All of us, was that Dwayne Martin?
Yes.
Mhm.
And Tony Rock. By the way, Tony,
He's very funny.
he in the writers' room, we would always be, if we would look through the script, and we'd be like, Tony needs more. Tony can deliver these lines. You know who else is on that show? Lisa Ray.
Oh yeah, Lisa Ray for sure. Tony Rock, for those who don't know, that's Chris's Rock, one of
Yep.
Chris Rock's brothers. There's a lot of Rocks.
And Lisa Ray, I think married like a prince.
But I think he was a scam.
He was a scam.
From what I heard, and I don't know, I need to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure that guy was not actually. It was like Turks and Caicos or
Yeah,
some shit like
something
that.
like that, yeah, yeah.
He was like a prince of Turks,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah,
that,
yeah.
some type of royalty over there. And I think I heard that was like he was lying, like that was not what he was. I have to do some research, so don't quote me on that.
I'm dying to know.
But we'll look up when we get.
All of us was a lot of fun.
I
to
bet
work
it
on.
was. Yeah,
Cuts.
yeah. Not so much. Now, who was on that? I never watched that one.
Shannon Elizabeth. She was
From
from
American Pie. Yes.
What's his name? Houston, who was a
Marcus Houston.
Marcus Houston.
From don't wait,
What
not
was the singing-
not B2K, the one before that.
yeah.
His brother Omarion was in B2K.
Marion guested a lot on the show.
Yes. Wait,
And you know who else guested?
what's the name of that group?
You ready for this? So we were doing guest casting for a role,
Okay.
and they were like, we
Perfect Gentleman? No, that
we
wasn't.
cast this dude named Cat Williams.
Never
And-
heard of him.
But nobody had heard of him.
Really? At the time?
Cuts. He was.
What year was this?
He was still. I mean, we'd heard of him, but he wasn't Cat Williams, right? I think he had 2 scenes planned. Top of the show, came in table read, and at the end of the table read, Kenny Smith was running the room at the time. Kenny's he was. I think Kenny created the game too.
Oh yeah.
So Kenny,
With Tia, was it Maury?
that show was on for a minute.
I think it was Tia, not
Yeah,
Tamara.
but so Kenny was like, as soon as we got back to the writers' room, and Kenny was like, he needs more scenes. Like, we got to figure out how to put this dude.
So funny.
It's so. You know what's to me is as a comic the most impressive thing about Cat is, okay, so Kevin Hart, Chappelle,
Mm-hmm.
they I bet you, Kevin especially, I bet you is the predominantly a white audience,
Oh, for sure.
and maybe Chappelle.
I would say probably more than black.
Yeah.
I would say both of them have both. They've both crossed over
Yes.
for sure. But I would venture to say even for both that they are more white. Yeah.
Cat Williams, the amount of tickets he sold to just one community, the amount of albums
amazing.
and downloads.
It's amazing.
If you compare his numbers, he's not dipping into
No.
where most of the country is.
You know,
What he's done with just one,
it's amazing.
it's crazy.
And no one, I don't think anyone else has done that before.
No.
And he said also, I think he said all of his specials are independently produced.
Yes. And tell me every special isn't funnier than the last one.
He's brilliant. He crazy, but he's brilliant.
Brilliant.
Did you see him in Atlanta? Donald Glover's show on FX?
No. Is he good?
Funniest episode. Like, I could watch that episode. It's called Alligator Man.
Oh man.
He plays a character, I think it's his uncle,
Yeah.
and who legit has an alligator in his house in Florida.
Come on.
But he is hands down one of the funniest comedic actors and stand-ups of all time.
His stand up, oh my God, his stand up is so good. He's so fucking good. I like when I watch him, I'm like, I don't know if I will ever command an
No,
audience like he does.
I know, but and then we feel badly because we're like, man, I don't think I'll ever be that good. But here's the thing: is we're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have to cut ourselves some slack.
Yeah.
If we compare ourselves to the greats, which is, I feel like that is what's naturally what we do because we want to, we aspire to be that level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like some people were just legit. Like how we were talking about Connor McSpadden and how his joke writing, how like he just has a
Genius.
thing in his head.
Yeah.
Where you just say something and he'll just immediately riff it. It'll come to his head. It's just not going to do that for me. Like, it comes in a different way.
Yeah.
And we're funny in different ways. So we all have something to contribute. And no, not everyone's going to be Cat Williams or Dave Chappelle, but we all are bringing something different to the table. And it doesn't mean we're not funny just because we're not the top comedian in the world. Who
Yeah.
is the top comedian in the world? So we have to be easier on ourselves.
It's interesting.
There's room for all of us. Well, not all of us.
Not all of us. Thank God.
Some of y'all need to stop.
Yeah.
Some of y'all need to quit.
Stand up isn't for everybody.
Yeah, quit.
Um,
We should do a podcast where we just list the people that should quit.
we should call a podcast Just Quit.
Just in every episode.
Today on Just Quit. First we play one of their bits. And when you look at the camera and we go, hey man, just quit.
Just quit.
Okay, next on
Next-
Just Quit.
Next week on Just Quit.
Oh, the opposite of a Nike. Just quit. And instead of a swoosh up, it's just a thumbs down. And that would that would be the
Should
symbol
we
of
bring
the
them
podcast.
onto the podcast?
Yeah,
I feel like we should bring them on to tell them to quit. We have interventions to
I
talk
do
people out of
feel
it.
like that after the first episode, we're not going to be able to get too many guests.
Do you think so?
Yeah, like the
I still think some people like Josh Wolf and Candice have a podcast. I want to do it.
yeah. What's it
Even
called?
if
Just Quit. Mm,
Who books it?
yeah.
They would still come on and do it just for the views.
Just
This
Quit
town
would be.
is full of sad people.
But you know what's funny is that like when you talk about stand-ups and what you aspire to be and comparing yourself to the best, I've been doing this for a while,
Yeah.
and I'm now better than, I know that sounds stupid, we all are, but I'm now better than I've ever been for the reason that I stopped comparing myself. Okay. So for a long time, I knew what type of comic I wanted to be,
Mm-hmm.
right? I wanted to, this is actually what I would tell you is my struggle. Ready for
Finally, here we are with 7 minutes left in the.
this? You ready for this?
Yes.
Here's my struggle. And I know this sounds petty, but I'm
please.
gonna go ahead and give you, I know this sounds petty and small, but it's, okay. So I've always, and one of the reasons I'm better now than I've ever been, and one of the reasons I'm selling more tickets now than I've ever sold, is because up until recently, and when I say recent, 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
I so wanted to be respected by who I respected.
Mm.
And I knew the type of comics that they vibe towards. And I was like, oh, I want to tell that joke. I want to be that guy. I want to deliver a joke like that.
Yeah.
And
Is it too much for me to be like, can you give me an example of one of these people that you're talking about?
that I would like to be like or deliver a
Mhm.
joke like,
Mm-hmm.
sure. I'm not an angry guy,
No.
but I always wanted to deliver a joke like
You
Burr.
smoke way too much weed to
Yeah.
be angry.
Right. But I always wanted to deliver a joke like Burr.
Everybody wants to deliver. I want to deliver.
But do you
just
know what I
like-
mean?
Yeah.
There's a certain,
Yeah.
and that anger to me draws out a different type of laughter
Absolutely.
that I don't draw out. I'm not
Yeah.
saying people don't laugh at my shows and laugh hard, but you're laughing in a different way.
Yeah, you and this comic I'm about to say right now are not like the same by any means, but in that the type of laughs that you draw are similar. Steve Simone,
Yeah.
like your storytelling,
Yeah.
and it's just like you're fun, and it's just like you're making people remember things, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit, that's mad relatable. Like I know what that is, and you're making it so fucking funny right now.
Yes.
And so there's a joy that is with your comedy that is associated with not comics that are like Bill Burr. It's not, I wouldn't say joy. People aren't laughing out of joy.
But no,
With
no.
him.
but there's such a deep, and so my struggle, and I know this sounds petty, but I just wanted acceptance. I wanted respect. I know that people like me. I know that people like me and maybe respect me as a person.
Mm-hmm.
I have never, I always wanted to be that comic who, when you're up in the OR, they're like, fucking Josh is on.
And everyone just goes,
Right?
yeah.
Right. So that struggle for what I felt and still feel like is respect from my peers.
Yeah.
Is something that I still I'm glad that I changed what I do on stage, and I really feel super natural and flow now. And you know what changed my entire game is I now go on stage, and every time I go on stage, I talk to them the same way I talk to my friends.
Yeah.
The same exact way.
It just make it a conversation. It's
but
the best.
But like you're my buddy.
That's great.
I high five people in the front row. Sometimes I sit in someone's chair. I might drink out of a drink.
Yeah.
Like, we're buddies.
That was my drink.
Yeah, we're buddies, right? But it's something that I've really instilled. And I talked to Joe Diaz about this. Joey's a buddy of mine.
So funny.
And he's like, dog, you can't, they're not buying tickets to your show. I'm like, I know. But it's easy for you to say because not only are you selling tickets, but every comic runs into a room to see your set.
Right.
And I still sometimes catch myself writing a joke that has a little bit of a bite or a little poignant. And I'm like, this is not going to fit in what I do.
Right. It's like you're still trying to, it's hard to let that go, you know?
I'm still trying to make the back of the room like me.
Right. Fuck that.
I know it's so easy to say,
peer
right?
respect is overrated. Let me tell you. Because peer respect ain't paying the rent, all right?
Look, you can't take it to Rouse and be like, I'm going to pay for these eggs because the comics like
That
it.
was legit a struggle that I was having probably 3 years ago. Because, you know, it's like things are, with my career, going really well now.
Yeah.
And it was like, things are just now starting to be like, oh, really good. And it was like a point where it was like, okay, things are good, but I understand that I'm well respected in the community.
Yeah.
But can I get a job?
Well, you know who was also the opposite of that? And who I talked to about it many times was Brody.
Yes.
Brody was like,
yes.
Brody would say to me, but at least you get booked.
Yeah.
Every comic comes in to see my set, but my set's at 1:30 in the morning. And the only people in the room are comics. And I don't get to go out on the road and play to sold out shows like you do. Yes, every comic loves me, but who cares? And I was always like, yeah, man, but to get that respect, to have people come in and know and wait to see where Brody's on the list. And he was like, but who cares? Like I know the grass is always greener, right?
For sure. We're on either end. You're going to be complaining and about wherever you are.
Yeah.
Another person who was like that, but on another level, in that his career was still good, but could have been better. But it wasn't because he refused to compromise who he was Patrice.
Yes.
Was such a comics comic.
Yes.
But I mean, he had mass appeal for sure, but he refused to do what a lot of these people would do just for career. He's like, that's not who I am. I'm not going to do it. And his career suffered for it. And I'm sure he was fine with that because he was not willing to do that. And that was just who he was. But brilliant comic. Brilliant comic. But he didn't get the success. I mean, he probably would have gotten more if he was alive.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Patrice. But
by the way, he's on that short list. Patrice.
Yeah.
He's on that short list.
I mean, he's brilliant. Again, another person's like, there's a list of people that's like, okay, I just have to accept I'm not going to be as funny as these people. Because if I continue to chase this, I'm just going to be sad and mad every day.
He's on that list.
He has to be. His mind works in a way.
So amazing. And you know what he never needed to do? He never needed to raise his voice to tell you a joke. He never needed to be animated to get his point across. Yeah. What he was saying was so poignant and so well crafted that he didn't need to distract you with any of the other, as Rogan told me once, the dance moves. He was like, stop doing it.
He didn't hump the stool.
No, but Rogan told me once, he was like, don't do the dance moves that you learn on the road.
Yeah.
Those are dance moves.
Yeah.
Don't show them the dance moves. Get to the joke.
Just words.
Yeah.
Use your words.
Yeah. Like I would say to my kid.
Yeah, it's true though. And this is when I realized how brilliant Patrice was because when I found myself laughing at his misogyny.
Yes.
When you can be that misogynistic in your jokes and I'm still laughing at you, I'm like, you're making, and that's the same with like Burr. Burr says shit
crazy.
That you're like, there's no way I'm gonna be on board with this, but then he gets you on board, and you're laughing at it, and you're like,
you know who else?
Damn you.
Think of what Joe Diaz, think of what comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, it's true.
Nobody is like, that's offensive.
It's
because here's what it comes down to. Do you know what it comes down to for us as artists? Authenticity.
Yeah.
If the audience can tell that you're not doing shock, if you're not trying to push an envelope, if you're being authentically you, which is what Burr, Patrice, and Joey all do, then the audience settles in.
It's palatable. Yep.
It's so crazy, right? So the trick, and I tell young comics all the time, they're like, what should I write? I'm like, hey, don't let anyone ever tell you what you should write.
Yeah.
What do you think is funny?
Yeah.
What do you think is funny?
Yeah, and don't also another thing is don't, people say like don't do certain jokes because they're hack. There's no such thing as a hack joke. There's hack premises, but if you can make that. You're telling me right now there's not a comic who can make an airline joke funny?
Yo,
Of course there are.
Do you know how many of us have jokes about our kids?
Or being single.
But it's your perspective.
The original, right.
You know, I could think of 5 great comics who all have jokes about female teachers fucking young students.
And they're great.
They're great jokes.
They're great jokes.
Because the premise is rich.
Right.
And your point of view on it is your point of view. You know what I mean? So, like, I agree with that. But for me, it's all, it's why guys like Rappaport and Brendan Schaub, when you see, you're like, they're way better than they should be. It's because they already knew who they were when they were getting on stage.
When they got up there.
So they skipped those 5 years.
Yeah.
They could skip it because they
knew who they were.
Through podcasts, they've talked out loud so much. Brendan said that. He was like, through podcasts, I talk out loud so much. I found my personality and who I was and what my point of view was.
That's dope, yeah.
That when I got on stage, that part, like I saw him the other night, I'm like, man, and his growth is so fast because he skipped all that.
Yeah. What's funny, well, really quickly, I would like to say that Brandon Schaub stole my look. He taped a special. It was on Showtime.
Showtime, yeah.
It dropped a week, or maybe not a week, but a couple weeks before I taped Colbert, which my Colbert hasn't aired yet because they do it so weird now. They tape it and then release it later. But same exact outfit. Except he's wearing a bomber jacket, but I'm wearing a blazer. It's the same exact color, same exact material.
Listen, I don't want to say nothing, but he's got some great thighs. So You don't
understand. That's the first thing I look at.
My man's got some great thighs. Like,
it's the first thing I look at when I meet a dude. I'm like, let me see them thighs.
Dude's got some great thighs.
I love thick thighs.
Yeah, he's got thick thighs, but 2 C's, maybe 3.
2 C's?
THICCC.
Oh,
thick.
I was picturing like bra size, like C cup, and I'm like, they have.
Yeah.
In my brain, I was like,
you thought his nuts were 2 double C's? Wow.
I was like, they have.
Talk about double dick, dude.
Garments for this for me? That's.
I'm gonna be
those
doing
double C's.
I'm doing a deep dive on Google when I get out of here. That's a dangerous deep dive. Yeah.
Josh, we have talked about nothing.
But that's what I'm great at.
Today.
That's what I'm good at.
I am not faulting. This was a great podcast, and I'm sorry we have to wrap it up.
But we can do it again.
We will.
No, I just want to tell you, even if we do it again, there's not a...
If we do it again. When we
do it again, I'm not guaranteeing we ever get to a topic that you have planned anyways.
And that's fine. My struggles were lame. My struggle this week was fruit flies.
Here I am like, I'm so struggling with respect. It's the core. I don't know how I'm going to go on as a comic. I got fruit flies, everybody. Get the fuck out of here.
I lead such a difficult... You guys don't understand.
Oh, my God.
When you come home and then there's just these gnats.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I come home and I'm struggling with my existence as a comic and who I am. Candice is like, man, I was watching TV and this fruit
fly. So I have to set these vinegar traps. That is my struggle. Because I have so much produce in my house now. It's a thing now. No.
By the way, I'm going to be hitting you up for some recipes.
I was talking to people last night after my spot at the store. I was walking in the hallway and I ran into 2 friends. And we just ended up talking for like 45 minutes. And they're like, Candice, you need to have a YouTube channel with your recipes and the things that you do because I want to get healthier. And so I'm like, I got to find out how to do that.
Well, time. Here's what I would say also, which is, and again, I don't know how old you are.
I play anywhere from 21 to 38.
The one, you just went up 3 years.
Completely different.
You went from 35.
And I went down.
Yeah, you went down.
You didn't notice that.
I like that, yeah.
How is your range now a 20-year span?
Because this podcast has been that good.
and that rangy. Like that makes no sense. Yes.
But when you talk to people your age in different parts of the country who are going to be like, that's what will draw them in.
What will draw them in?
When people who are your age will look the way you look compared to the way they look, and they're going to want to know.
No, you'd be surprised, Josh. It takes people even looking at someone who looks as amazing as I look. Can you say that with a straight face? Even when someone will come up to you and compliment you. I've talked about this with Erica Rose. She was on a couple weeks ago, and she was like, Candice, it's so funny when you did that Instagram story about when you tell people are like, what are you doing? You look amazing. And then you tell them, and then they're like, well, whatever it is, keep doing it. I'm like, no, I just told you that I switched.
It's not whatever.
And they keep saying it, well, keep doing it, whatever it is. And I'm like, I just told you.
How is it 190 degrees in here and your hands are freezing? What is happening right now?
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because the rest of my body's very warm.
Hands.
Cold hands, warm heart.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great name
for
a book.
That's what they say.
Is that what they say?
Yeah, that is a saying. I don't know what it means.
Hot hands, cold heart?
Yeah.
I'm fucked.
Cold hands, dead inside.
Yeah.
That doesn't rhyme. But back to what I was saying really quick before we wrap this up. But it takes people a thing. They have to experience something for then change to happen. Because just seeing somebody who looks a certain way and is like, oh, they look great, it's not enough. People need to experience something. Like you need to get a disease. Or my friend has a husband who has MS, who I actually know, like not know, but I've seen like there's doctors who have cured people of MS with diet.
Yes. A lot.
Yes.
I'll tell you something else. There was a woman I know who got diagnosed with lupus. You know what she had? Aspartame poisoning. She just drank Diet Cokes, right?
Of course.
And so aspartame you can't digest. And aspartame comes from formaldehyde. That's what it is. And so she had aspartame poisoning can hit you in a lot of different ways. For her,
it came out in lupus.
It came out with the same symptoms as lupus.
Yeah.
And so that's what she was diagnosed with. And then she stopped drinking Diet Cokes.
And it went away. And that's people don't realize that you're the food, and I don't know why, because it just makes so much sense. Like what you put in your mouth, fuel. And most of the stuff we put in our bodies is not feeding it's filling our stomach up, but we're not feeding what our cells need to function properly.
I'm going back. Hit me. Here's my problem when I went raw vegan. Here's my problem.
Yes. Besides the gas.
That's not a problem. That's funny.
You right.
Yeah. It's yeah.
What if we just harmonize farts at the same?
But for me, it's about because
losing too much weight.
Yeah,
I get that. You're a man, and it's different. And for sure, we'll talk. Let's wrap this up, and then we'll talk after.
Right.
So you guys, I don't want to say goodbye, but we have to. Josh, you've been an amazing guest.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. You guys, thank you for tuning into The Struggle. Again, if you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. We're on YouTube now, so make sure to subscribe there. Also, we're on all podcast platforms. If you haven't rated us and reviewed us on iTunes, do that. It makes a huge difference. And if you haven't told somebody about The Struggle and you listen to it regularly, you're doing us a disservice and yourself, okay? And your friends. Why are you withholding laughs? So pay it forward. Selfish. And you can follow me on at Jokes by Candice on social medias and CandiceThompsonComedy.com. And one more time, Josh, where can people find you?
At Josh Wolf Comedy on all socials. Watch my shows on Monday night and Tuesday night, both at 7 o'clock Pacific time on my Facebook fan page, which is Facebook.com/Josh Wolf Comedy.
It's such a fun show, guys. If you like watching comedians just riffing and having such a good time.
And my YouTube page, which is I'm blown away by what's happening over there right now.
That's amazing.
But my special is up there for free.
Oh, nice.
What's it called? Called Father of the Year. And it's
LeBron of the Year.
LeBron of the Year. And it's basically, this special is basically one long story. I really wanted to do a long, so it's a story about my son challenging. When you're a man and you have a son, at some point, he's going to think he can beat the fuck out of you.
Of course.
So the whole special is a story about my son challenging me to a fight.
This is Jacob?
You're just going to have to watch.
Okay. Oh. He was all in suspense. Oh, and really quickly, I'll plug this too. Make sure to watch Lights Out with David Spade, July 29th on Comedy Central.
Gonna be super funny.
You guys, you're not even prepared for the foolishness that we've come up with and created in this room. So make sure to tune in on Comedy Central.
I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, Josh.
Okay.
Till next time. Bye.
Bye.